Happy birthday to me. We got lots to talk about. All kinds of clubs going out the door. We got actually a giveaway to happen for my birthday and some new stuff that just came in. And I'm looking all around. We got all kinds of stuff going on. All next on What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. This is Jim McCleary. And why is it What's in My Drawers? It's because it was old club makers, club fitters are tremendous pack rats, and I'm no different. And this is what was a discussion about what was in my drawers in the shop. And it's been going on ever since. It's been a really, really good discussion. And since I had it muted, it's happy birthday to me. You can see that right there. And we got plenty going on in the shop. We got lots to talk about. Lots of work that we did, new stuff coming around, and we're doing a giveaway. And I'll explain that here in just a moment. So, like we normally do, let's talk about the PGA. And Kurt Katayama won and had some solid golf. We saw some names that we recognize in the top 10. Good for them. And congratulations to Kurt. He did very, very well. Alrighty, so it's funny. Normally I show you the pictures of all the stuff that we have done or that we're working on. And although I do have them, the downloading was kind of awful. So I'm just going to show you. Okay. So the very first piece is we did a fitting. And this is the new paradigm. The new paradigm. There we go. And the new paradigm is, this one is a 6-iron using the Ascent 50 in the A-Flex. Ascent F50 in the A-Flex. And then we got the paradigm. And then we put the 2G, the Golf Pride 2G in black on it and fit into this one. This one really worked really well. So this is a distance club, okay? If you're looking for distance, this is the way to go. Now, the part that really gets me is I like the coloring. I'm not much of a blue gold guy, but I do like this setup, but I like the shape. I like the shape in that it has a medium low offset, and the sole is not very wide, and it's got a traditional shape. So if you want to hit the ball, go far, this is where you want to go. Here. All right, next one. I think I showed you this one, but we're going to cover our bases. Mizuno. All right, this is a Mizuno Pro. Mizuno Pro with the new VRTX shaft. The VRTX shaft is a Project X shaft that comes in. It comes in several weights. Okay, it comes in several weights, 70, 80, 60. I think that's all in 60, 70, 80 grams. And again, what it is, it's a little bit more stiff, and it has if you can get a little closer, you can see right in here, it's got more of a weave pattern to it. And then it gets into a painted surfaces, and this is more of a matte black. And we put the Golf Pride CP2s on there and the Pro model. Now, the Pro model is becoming quite the favorite with a lot of people because it does have a slightly wider sole, though they've tried to make it look narrow. Very, very little offset, and it still has stronger lofts, but not like the Paradigm. The Paradigm is very, very strong in comparison. Works very, very well. The feel on this is pretty smart, is what we're doing here. I'm handing them to Mrs. McGolf, and she's busy talking with you guys. All right, and this is one that's going to be on the video. So while we're talking about that, like, subscribe, hit that bell on the bottom, the thumbs up if you would, and that way this information gets out to the YouTube space and they see it. All right, this was sent to me. Wilson CBs. These are one of my favorites. The CB is not a distance club. It is a player's cavity back. Now, I've hit this thing several times. And no, I can't put it out there like I used to, but I've loft jacked them a couple of times to get where I wanted to go, and I didn't lose anything. Now, what do I like about this one? I like the fact that it's got a very rounded sole. All right, I like rounded soles, particularly when I'm here in the mountains. There's a lot of undulation, and rounded soles for me tend to work really, really well. Got a little bit of a tungsten set up right here, so you don't overcook it. The head is not very deep here, but you can see they put some weight right behind where you would hit the ball. It's a very smart looking club, and it's also got the hole to kind of give you that traditional look. And then will they say it's a real bore through? And they'll say yes, it's a real bore through only because it's bored through the hole. This is not a real bore through. All right, as opposed to the shaft going through it. Now they asked me to take out some perfectly good DG 300s and and put in some steel fiber 80s, and that's what we did. So it's a boxes to builds on taking iron shafts out and putting graphite shafts in. You ought to see that one tomorrow. Okay, another one, and we're just going to go through the gambit today. We're going to hit all the models. This is a Mizuno 923 forged. All right, this is one of the newest releases, and again, it has a very similar look to the Pro. It has very little offset right in here, a nice thinner top line as most people would like. The blade length, I think, is in millimeters shorter than the Hot Metal Pro, and it is a forged club. All right, hence forged 923 forged, right? And it's a forged club. It's also a lefty. Go lefties, right? And I put in this is a 115, a Modus 115X. The young man that hits this thing just hits them clean out of sight. And so when we did the fitting on this one, the young man had game. He really did. It was a very nice golf swing. I won't say very fast, but it was fast. And he was playing with dated equipment, easily into the 10, 15-year range. And I just handed him that one because we know we didn't need to get the distance clubs out. And even when I did this one, based on some loft changes, that I gained him at least a club and a half. All right, a club and a half. That's significant when you're talking about beating a forged type club. That's pretty impressive. Okay. Not to be outdone, Srixon. I've left the plastic on a lot of these. In a lot of cases, you see that I've got the plastic on here. And it depends on how it works. If it looks nice on the club, like you can see right through it, that's a nice clear plastic. I'll leave it on as kind of one of those, oh, look, I get to tear my new clubs open kind of concept. But if it looks gross or it's got a tear, then I pull them off and then I'll wax them. Anyway, this one came with the 5/8" chrome ring on it, and this is the ZX5. Now, this is ZX5 and right-handed, and this young man is playing with, older man, is 120Rs. All right, a 120R. And I believe we even soft-stepped him. No, we didn't. We didn't soft-step him. Okay, we didn't. Oh, that was another mic. Okay. So anyway, they're 120Rs. And
sorry.
Man, rookies. So anyway, the 120R. So why, you would think, well, geez, is in an R flex, you need this lighter shaft, all this stuff. Well, not necessarily, because you can be more of an aggressive person and tug it really hard and pull it right down and not swing very fast. To the point, in a lot of cases, that's what happens because you're putting so much effort into pulling it back that now you've wasted all that energy and you can't bring it back fast. But some people are just quick tempo golfers. That's what this guy was. And the R-Flex worked, straightened him right out, and he kept going back. We kept talking, but he ended up liking the ZX5. Okay, and that was a good one. So we've covered the gambit. So that was all what we made. What's new? If you remember, we did a video with Mizuno, and we talked about the new wedge, the S23 wedge. All right, there we go. I'll try and get it there. The S23 wedge. Now, this is their cast model, and you can see it's got a little bit of a cavity out here with all the weight out under the toe. This is a D grind, so it's going to be a little bit wider. and you can see where they removed a lot on the heel and toe area. I do like the silver look to it, and it's got a really nice shape. I mean, this is about as traditional as one gets. It's a little compact. Can't wait to get into this one. This one's got a KBS 115 in it as a stock shaft, but you can obviously get other offerings. And the one that I've been waiting on, and we are going to get into some testing of, is the ST. There it is, the STX. There it is, the STX hybrid.
STX 230 hybrid.
STX hybrid. And they call it 230 because it's in 23. This is a lefty model. Guess who's going to hit this one? And that's what we're going to do. Anyway, this one comes with a link shaft, all right, by UST. It's a good look. I think the blue, I'm trying to take it off, but Mizuno has this nuclear plastic that they like putting on in order to show you. And this would be one of those I'd take off. All right, there you go. And it has that Cortex in it now instead of the waves. I hit this thing and it hits well. It's also adjustable, and it comes stock with the Lambkin ST shaft, ST head. Get it? Ha ha. Okay, and it's not a bad grip. Not a bad grip whatsoever. Okay, we got them all done. We got to talk about it. And we got to talk about the fittings. So the stuff that we made, and this is the fitting where we talk about the fittings. The stuff that we made was a result of fittings. And it just goes to show you that there's every shape and size that's out there. And to the point, I fit 2 ladies this last time, and one of them was very short. And so we had to kind of manipulate clubs in order to get them into the length that we want in order to make these shorter clubs. And then once we got it, it was a good contact, better results, and it was just, that was where we wanted to be. And so that's where we were looking for, right? And there you have some from a short lady to a guy that's, fairly tall, swings very hard. And all kinds of different equipments can fit any one of them. And we changed some ideas on some guys that came in with a preconceived notion, and because we demonstrated that it fit better. And that's what we want. Okay, some other things, and I'm still contemplating this one. If you guys have seen me do flowing, the flatline oscillation, I use these. All right, there we go. I use those. Now what I do is I cut this piece off right here, and I cut this piece off right here, and then I glue them together, and I actually make them so that the openings go opposite one another. And I found that this one, the littler one, this is I believe this is the 3/8, ½ inch or 3/8. I believe it's the 3/8 one. Anyway, this one clamps onto the shaft better, okay, because it's smaller, because of as I get closer to the head, the diameter is smaller. And it's also plastic, so it will move for the bigger pieces. So I like that one. The other one, I like the next bigger piece because it holds the laser better. But I've got enough of these things. I'm going to try one-on-one and just see whether or not this little small piece will push the button down better. We'll see. So that's coming out of that. All righty. So a couple of things. Yes, it was my birthday. It was my birthday yesterday. We're celebrating it. And I turned 60. All right. I turned 60. And the funnies, they're making me show this to you. I got that. And it's the sheriff's badge. Now, why is the sheriff's badge? Well, at my other job, I got promoted to a deputy. And that's so, hence I get the badge. All right. I know what I'd like to give them back, but they get the badge. And then on our cake that we had, obviously keeping in the golf motif, I got one of these on the cake. So now we've got a toy for the cake. All righty. So thank you to everybody. Charlie, that's McAllen Terra. So there you go. So birthday present. This is the fun part. What did I get? I got one of those. That's a Rectech RT380, B380. It's their new extra special one. The thing goes to 1,000 degrees. Why do I need 1,000 degrees? I don't know, in case I need to cook something really, really fast. Anyway, while I was making that, we did a prime rib, and that was me pulling it off right there. We did prime rib for my birthday, and man, oh man, I got to tell you, it turned out something else. So that's what it started out like, and that's what it ended up with, right back into its holder. Oh, that was getting ready to go in, and then so it went from here to there, and man, it was yummy. So while we were cooking that, I was seasoning the other grill. That's the reason why I didn't cook it on the other grill, and we put those on there. And those are chicken thighs. So when the company that makes the grill is Rectech, and they suggest how to season it with that because it splatters and it gets all over the place. So that's what we did. All righty. So we got through all that one. Woohoo! All right. So giveaways. Here's how it's going to work. 60 years old. I'm giving away 6 different things. And Mrs. McGolf is going to pick who gets what. All right. The first one is the McGolf hat. It's a small medium hat. And it is going to be a one-of-a-kind kind of deal because we are switching makers. And so we're going to have this. And that'll be it. No more after that one. The next one we're giving away is an apron, right? I had a couple aprons, so the apron, and it's a large one, and I can wear both. I'm a big guy, I can wear both, so we've done that. All right. Another thing we're going to give away is a tour towel, right? A red tour towel with a McGolf logo and this is a free little ball washer. All right, it keeps getting better. And then a divot tool, right? We're going to give away a divot tool. And the divot tool obviously has a little pencil sharpener, has the ball marker, and it'll be green in nature, and it's the switchblade kind. Okay? Last 2. Now, what we were supposed to have on here to join us was going to be Mr. Garsen of Garsen Grips, Bernard Garsen. And he thought it was next Monday instead of this Monday. And he's right now, even as we speak, he's packing up a truck and he is moving his household items to a new house. So as part of that, I have a Garsen Max red and black grip, and we can talk about this technology a little bit about that. And then last but not least, a set of TrueViz, Chrome Soft TrueViz for the St. Patrick's Day theme, and McGolf with the clovers. So those are the 6. We're going to give them away throughout there. Miss McGolf will announce them as she's talking to you, and we'll just go from there. Okay, so again, 60 years old. Happy birthday to me, and now it's happy birthday to you because we're going to give them away. So let's talk some golf. We're going up to the top. There we go. Oh, my golly. We got a bit more top we got to go to. Okay, here we go. Mr. Kent, thank you. You're catching up to me. Well, I'm trying, buddy. I'm trying. Thank you very much. Matt, hello, everyone. Happy birthday. No rounds for me, but I did get some short game practice in. Nice. Very well. Question, has epoxy changed since you started club making, building, and fittings and shears? Yes, it has. So in the beginning, they really didn't glue anything in. It was all press fit, and then it was press fit, pinned, and squeezed. It was in the beginning. And then epoxy did show up, and it was 2-part epoxies. And I think it was just kind of hey, this is a really great idea, until somebody stumbled on it and said, hey, we can use it for this. Now, epoxy comes in several classifications as far as cure time or workability time. Most of them will say that they would prefer the glue to cure in 24 hours. But you have the stuff what they call tour glue that sets up in like 6 or 8 minutes, and then 15 minutes later, it's workable, meaning that you can work with the club and it's you can move it around and not worry about it moving. Then in about 45 minutes to an hour, these guys are out there hitting on it. That scares me a little bit, but that's the quality of that glue. Then there's stuff that works in 20 minutes, and there's stuff that works in an hour, and there's stuff that works in 24 hours, and it's all about workability. And then when you get those workabilities, shear point strength becomes a thing, and they do move around. All right, typically the longer the cure time or the workability time, the cure time, the higher the number. And it's funny that, Matt, you asked me that because I just ordered some and just got it in today using the 3M. The DP 420 is what I primarily use now. That's specifically designed for golf clubs. It has a slightly longer work time, and it also has, and it's black, which is a good thing. We used to have to run around with gray. And then I have the DP 810, which is the standard on the tour. And the reason why it's the standard on the tour is because it's quick. It's very, very quick, and it's very, very quick to dry, very, very quick to be able to use. But it still has a 24-hour cure, but you can still, within an hour, you can give it to a person, let them hit it. So that's what we've done. Manuel, thank you so very much, sir. Michael, again, thank you. All right, Manuel, if you do a grip video, can you provide us with where to align the logo of the grip for both irons and woods? Thank you. You know what? That sounds like a boxes to build kind of video there, Manuel. I'm down with that. And that there is a difference too, as we both know. But yeah, we can do that. And then what to do when they go, I want a logo down. That's actually easy. All right. Jack King, happy birthday, Jim. Thank you. Weather is gorgeous. It is here too. You can see it. It's trying to drown out my window, but the 70 degrees today. Unfortunately, it's going to turn around and get right back into the 40s, but today is really, really good. Duke K, happy birthday. Yep, I'm getting fit for my new driver on Friday. Awesome. Then leaving for Virginia to play Royal New Kent Golf. Oh, okay, nice. Place is awesome. First time playing it. Very good. Well, let us know what you fit into. Happy birthday from Danny Johnson. Hope you got some golf in today. Unfortunately, no. Left the other place, came straight here, and now we're doing this. And yesterday was fun. I got to do cooking and we finished. Well, didn't finish. We got 2/3 the way through those sets, so good enough for us. All right, Emmanuel asks, how many of 60 years gyms have benefited from you as a life partner? Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. You scored a huge point with that, I'm pretty sure. There you go. You are a silver-tongued devil, Emmanuel. Good job. Mr. Peter, how are you, sir? Happy birthday. Thank you. You can now play the senior division and play for the senior TEC. I was asking Bob that, my golfing buddy, and I said, hey, does that mean I can play from the up tees? And he goes, that most certainly does. I'm like, oh, Nelly, we'll see what happens now. This is Brian P. Hello and happy birthday. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. David Jones, happy birthday. Thank you again. Thank you, guys. Happy born on date. That's funny. I like the born on date thing. Where's the beer? All right, pew pew. Happy birthday. Recently tested the Wilson Dynapower Carbon. And okay, I want to see what it is. Very impressed with how it looks, and it performed. Just didn't quite compete with the Sim 2 Max, although tried it with and we're going to see something else here a little bit later. I was wondering about that. I've got them. They're sitting right here, and I think they look great. I think they look really, really neat. And that's the carbon. And then I got the steel. Funny you should tell me about this. There's the steel one, or the titanium one, we'll call it. And I did do I did some testing with those guys, the Dynapower, the Dynapower irons, and I got to tell you, I didn't think that there was going to be. I didn't think that there was going to be much of a difference between those and the nines, and there is in feel and the way it goes and the whole 9 yards. It is certainly an upgrade. Now I hit this thing. It was funny. I did the testing and I was clearing. I was up 195. This is total distance, mind you, 195 to 197, and I had this feeling I was hitting it short, and because these are distance irons too, and I thought, man, I'm hitting these short, and I went and I I measured them, and sure enough, they're like 3 degrees weak. And I was like, oh, there it is right there. And I'm thinking 3 degrees weak. If I crank this up a whole nother club, I'm going to be in the 205 to 205 range easy, and which gives me a lot of hope because I didn't really miss the center very much. I was fine in the middle of the club face or the fairway this time around. So if you guys are out there and you're looking for a little bit of forgiveness or a lot of bit of forgiveness for that matter, I mean, this thing's a monster, right? That thing is very, very nice. It's got a lot of soul on it. They've got they move the heads up. There's some AI involved in it, the whole 9 yards, and it hits very, very well. So I wouldn't discount that at all. Vibe Slingers is a giveaway. Yeah. All right, man. PZ, what do you say, buddy? Slat says, happy birthday, Jim. Thank you, sir. Oh, here we go. Found it. He put the Venice Blue, and I've put that into the Sim 2 D9 Forged are on my radar for new irons. Very cool. D9 Forged is very, very nice, too. Vibe Slinger, happy birthday. Thank you. Jewel, thank you so very much. The CB irons are very nice, Pew, but they're not as strong, and they have a like I just showed you. It's got the nice curved sole. On the D9, it's a little wider, or the D9 Forge, it's a little wider. So if you're more of a divot taker and want to glide through the grass a little bit, then the D9, and it's also stronger lofted. That one is in between the CB and the new Dynapower. Charlie, thank you so very much. Again, just like we said, Mikkel and Tara, this is the very end. This was the stuff we picked up when we were in Scotland. So that's been sitting around. This is the last one after a couple of many years now. So 5. So I can keep it in the bottle for a while. It's got a vanilla taste to it. 40 years in May. Oof, that's like a lifetime. Oh, did I say that? Sorry.
Your adult life.
Oh, my adult life. Okay. Michael Moody just got fitted from Mizuno. Ended up getting a JPX 23 Hot Metal Pros. Very good choice with the Project LZ Black Stiff. Very happy. Thanks for your advice. Tried the Forge, like you said, but ended up with the Cast. There you go. I would say, Michael, that you can't go wrong either way because in the lineup it's Pro, Forged, and then one on each side. So it's this far difference between the two, and the difference would be the Forged are a little weaker, and then the rest of it is about control. Now you can bend them a little bit, but as far as straight out of the box, and I don't think you'd be sorry with either one of them. And there's Emmanuel telling him, wonderful. When do you think they'll have a Dynapower Forged iron? Well, I would think it would depend on how well these do, and how well these do. Now there are fairway woods and hybrids, and for those of you that tend to tug a hybrid to the inside, I'd give this one a look because this is a very straight on look. Very tour-oriented iron, or a hybrid, sorry, and comes with the stock with the RDX red, right? And so it ought to power through pretty decent. I don't think it's a joke. They really go unsung in their hybrid category, and they actually do a pretty good job. So if they see some excitement there, next year the CB is due to go, and they very well may go that direction. Thank you. All right. Oh, thank you again. Yep. All right, Deuce K, can you talk a minute about club lie angles? Sure. More specifically, how to determine the standard lie angles so that you can start where you can start from if you cannot find manufacturer standard lie angle. Okay. So lie angle, there's a lot of people are going to argue with me when I say this, but lie angles need to be, let's talk with this here. Lie angles need to be tested dynamically. That across the board, everybody agrees with that. It used to be that you would measure the wrist to floor, and it would say, okay, the club's this long, the lie angle needs to be that, and that was standard. All right, that was standard. That didn't take into account if you stood up tall, or if you slouched, or if you came in from the flat, or if you chopped wood. Didn't take any of that account. That was just to get people started. When you hit the ball, when you hit it dynamically, then you're talking about turf interaction. And that's what lie angles are for, turf interaction. The secondary part of this is that it will tend to bring the impact towards the center. And that's what that's the big myth here, is that, oh, you adjust lie angle so you can bring it into the middle and you can adjust pushes and fades. Those are secondary to turf interaction. Because if you get stuck, it doesn't matter, right? You can get stuck and push, you can get stuck and close, you can get stuck and and dump it. If you get stuck, it's over. And so the idea is to get into the middle. We want you in this particular space, and preferably you're hitting in this particular area. But if you're going across, that's not so bad. All right, and so that's the reason why we do the testing. Now, how do we figure it out? Old school would say, and that's me, put a piece of tape on it, put a board down, hit off the board. Now, there's all these guys that start screaming, "Oh my God, it's 1/8 of an inch off. It's this much thicker. You're going to be totally off." Well, that's garbage. All right, but can you be off? Yeah, you can, because you just adjusted the hitting area. The fact of the matter is, it is that much higher. That is true. Is it going to be that so far much off that you're not going to be able to tell what it is? That part is not true. All right. Now, if you really wanted to hit off the board and get it really good, what I would suggest, and I've suggested this in the past, is get a piece of plywood, a board of plywood that you can stand on and hit a ball off of, and paint the hitting area. Paint it green, black, doesn't matter. And put a ball in there, hit it off, and see where you hit it off of. You're done. And that's where you would be. Now, there is another method to do that. And the other method is to put a line on the golf ball, hit it, and then hopefully that line makes a mark on the face, and then from that tilt, you know whether or not you need to be flat or upright. And that's it. Now, if so if the ball was straight up and down, the lie angle you had is good. If it's towards the inside, I think you want to go flat, and if you want to go outside, it goes the other way around. I believe that's the way. And there are some zealots out there that just think that is the only way to do it. That would be a mistake. However, is it a good way does it remove the error of the board? Yeah, but I've just been, it's one of those things. I've used the board. I know what to look for. I know I'm seeing it, because the one thing that the ball with the line doesn't tell you that the board does is where you impact the sole. All right, where you impact the sole, just like we were talking. So when you hear the idea of trapping the ball, right? Trapping the ball. If you were trapping the ball, that mark would be somewhere towards the leading edge. If you were flipping it or adding loft, and you're like, man, I hit the ball so high. Why is that? Well, doing a lie angle test would be a giveaway, because it would be in the back. All right, it would be in the back, which means that you're either, when you hit it with the leading edge, and this is obviously standard, if you hit it with a trap, it's going to be slightly to the front. If you're going to hit it in the trailing edge, it's going to be slightly to the back, and that's adding loft, and that's the reason why you hit it high, and that's the reason why they go shorter. And then again, in relationship to where it is from center, it's out on the toe, it needs to come up. If it's in the heel, it needs to go down. And it goes in quarter-inch increments for me. But if you're like this far one way or the other, that's a degree, right? So if you go to another one, that's another degree, in both ways. So hitting it off the board can tell you way more than just the lie angle. It can tell you a lot of other things that are going on, and that's how you would do it. If you didn't know what the standard was, you just put the tape on each and every last one of those, measure from center line where that mark, last bit of it is. So if you hit the tape and it makes a long mark, right, and it's not going to be the whole length, it never is, because there's a radius here. But in this particular area, there might be let's say there's a mark on it this long. So let's get like that. So if this is where it's at, you want to go to the middle, and then you find the middle of the club face, and if that's the middle of the club face, then you're good to go. All right. So if you go this way, it needs to be flatter. If you go this way, it needs to be more upright. And that's where you do it. So hopefully that helps you, Duke. You can tell I kind of get into the lie angle. All righty. James, happy birthday. Thank you. And he's saying hello to all. Thank you for staying up so late, sir. Jerry Smiley, thank you, sir. Happy birthday to me. Thank you. Phil K, happy Monday. Weather in Austin did not improve my golf on Saturday. Oh, my goodness. Jim Anderson. Jim, good first name, bud. And from Scotland. Sir, thank you for staying up so late. McAllen, how about that? I got some of the other stuff that comes in a bottle that upstairs, but I don't know if I'll ever open that thing up. Dimbunga, how you doing, buddy? Lefty for sure. There we go. John Timmons, happy birthday. Jim from Gimpy Old Golfer. I have a set of Wilson goosenecks. Holy smokes, dude. Watching your video on Wilson clubs. Well, thank you. The goosenecks. So there's something else. So here's kind of the evolution of golf, okay? In the day of the gooseneck, what he's talking about is this guy right here was really big, all right? It was really tall. And that came from the wooden club era where the neck had to be really, really big to accept the wooden shaft. And then you notice from the wooden shaft, it kind of goes out and then it curves in. And that's to give the wooden shaft some meat so it wouldn't break, right? And that was in here. Well, when it went to the modern day, in order to have some level of similarities, so you didn't have this huge trend that they made this long. Well, what that did is that pulled the center of gravity of the club to the inside. And it is well documented. And if you ever get to the World Golf Hall of Fame in St. Augustine, Florida, and if you're driving by, I suggest you take the time, relax, go through it, and enjoy it. But when you get into they have lockers of everybody that has been voted in there, and they have sets of clubs, they have head covers, some scorecards, some memorabilia. And the golfers, the really good golfers of that era, you will find that they have their wear marks right in here, because that was before the era of tour vans and all kinds of other stuff. And so they would wear it right here in the inside because that was the best place to hit it on that club. And you would hit it in that, and it would go much, much better there. All right. JT Wilson, how are you, sir, from Louisiana? Having a great day. 83. Nice. That's a good, easy day. PZ did a fitting, and it's between the ZX7 and the Mira 201s. The Miras are butter. Yes, they are, but over $3K for an iron set, and that would be another. I would agree, man. I would agree. The Miras are a classic, I will say. I I would give the nod to the ZX7s from a it sounds kind of funny talking about the sevens, but from a forgiveness standpoint. And then I would look at how you play your golf, whether or not that V sole comes into play for you or not. And that if you needed to get something done, you don't have to wait a week and a half for it to come over on the slow boat. All right. Got an itch right there. All right. James Hodge, how are you, sir? If a set of clubs says 1/2 plus one down, do they mean one down from the original lie or one down back to the original lie after lengthening the shaft? To me, what that would mean, James, is that the club's a 1/2 of an inch long and that they're, you guys in England, they look at it a little, or in the UK, they look at it a little differently. Over here in the States, I would say that's a 1/2 an inch long plus 1 degree up, right? More of an upright. And that means that you're hitting it off to the away from you, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed. If you're a righty, it means you're pushing it out to the right, so you're going up a little bit more to help you bring it around. But again, as we talk, we want to be more about turf interaction. Now, that can, I'm trying to think. So the reason why I say this is because in the Capto training, the lie angle is backwards, because we measure the shaft. We measure the shaft where they over there they're measuring the head, and it just comes backwards to me. But if you're asking me, James, what I'm looking at is 1/2 inch long well, wait a minute. It says one down. Okay, so a 1/2 inch plus. Yeah, you're right. 1/2 of an inch long, and then 1 degree down, and it would be 1 degree down from whatever that manufacturer has. There we go. I got it. CHH Baseball, happy birthday. Thank you, sir. PZ saying like and subscribe. I would appreciate it if you did. That would be grand. This would be really neat to get out and break the record for all our numbers of likes and subscribes and whatnot. Harry Corver, how are you, sir? Happy birthday. My junior of 4 days and 1 year. There you go. So I ran into a guy at work. They had a birthday cake for him today. And I said, well, how old are you? And he said, 60 years old. And I said, well, welcome to the club, Junior. I beat you by a day. And then I guess if you guys saw it, Mrs. McGolf bought me a box of Captain Crunch. And if you didn't see it, Captain Crunch is 60 today or this year as well. And so us and everybody this year, we're the same age as the Captain. And no wonder I like Captain Crunch so well. So there we go. Yeah, sounds like a little milk. Might have me a little dinner, cereal, and maybe a piece of toast. Happy birthday from Stephen Polsky. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. John Timmons says hi to Robin. Mr. Frank Powell, hello there, sir. James Hodge again. If you like the feel of a D3 swing weight but need lighter shafts, which possibly will make it hard to obtain, and I would agree, good job. If you say hit C3, will the head feel heft be the same or heavier? Well, here's how I would explain it, James. So swing weight is a measured effect based on a 14-inch fulcrum, right? So from the butt end to where it balances out and all the stuff that's out there, D3 is a measure of the weight that you have here at the butt end and all the extra and the weight that you have out here. So if you have a very large grip that's very, very heavy, you could still be very heavy components and it would measure light. All right. But you would pick it up and you would think, good gravy, this is one of the heaviest clubs I've ever picked up in my life. Vice versa to that is if you have a regular grip and a light shaft and a light head, that the heft might feel heavier, but still measure lighter. Now, that's not true all the time. However, I have experienced that more times than not here in the last year and a half, and where I would give somebody the same club head, same grip, just a lighter shaft, and the golfer will immediately notice. He'll ask me, "Is this heavier?" And I go, "No, it's not." So there is a real opportunity for you to feel a difference in heft because it's a balancing act of how it goes. And typically, the lighter in the shaft, the lighter in the shaft, you get more head feel because that weight's got to go somewhere, right? That weight that you just removed's got to go somewhere. All right. Phil K, do you recommend grip size in your fittings? I most certainly do. I've got pretty large hands and I've been fit a couple times over the years, but that's never been brought up, even after I ask. Every single time, Phil, every time. So here we go. Hand me one of those grips, please.
Which grips? These down here?
Yeah, one with a grip on it.
Oh, sure, of course. Yeah.
Not one without a grip on it. That would be
No,
silly.
that'd be a grip.
That would be goofy. Alrighty, so what you see on TV or videos or whatever is that you'll see however this fits, right? And right here, as it looks, that's a little bit much. What we're looking for is these fingers touching this pad or barely. All right, so if I was to grab a hold of it, just so you could see it, if I was looking like that, that to me would be a proper fit. All right. Now it normally when I put it up here, it would fit. I'm just because I'm holding it in a different fashion. Now the other part of this is that when you get together like this, or like this, it doesn't matter. But what we're looking for is the other hand gets very close to that same spot where the middle two fingers come close to the pad. So if I'm here like this and I'm here like that, that's not bad at all. Now, do they have to be touching? No, they do not. That's just a good starting point for the fitter. Now, I've had guys with very large hands that fit into mid and sometimes jumbo, but because they have been playing standard grips their whole entire of their life, they're just more comfortable with that. And to me, comfort breeds confidence, and confidence breeds lower scores. So I will tell them, hey, this fits you better, but if you automatically grab it and you have a question mark in your head, it's over, right? It is over. You go to what you're comfortable with, and we'll get you into some traction, some texture, whatever that is that you like from there. However, that's what we're doing. Now, that's fitting. Jumbo Max as a whole is blowing that kind of out of the water, but they have a different way to grab the grip as well. And to the point where I did that video, and almost everybody benefited from a larger grip. Right? I did the smalls and the ultralight, and I gained 6 yards on an iron. So, but I would also test those because it's not 100%. We're all golfers. So if we ever say something's 100%, I guarantee you I will find somebody out there that will say, no, didn't work for me. So, but that's what it's all about. All right. Cabe, what do you say, sir? Thank you very much. Happy birthday. Yeah, new sheriff in town. There you go, Matt. Egg it on, man. Egg it on. JT Wilson, oh my bad. Wishing you blessed and happy birthday. Not a problem, sir. Thank you so very much. Hey, bud, appreciate that. Thank you so much. I didn't ask, are you going to be able to make Pinehurst or no? Because you were talking like it was something to have to do with the dogs, and I get it completely. Travis, okay, watching in New Jersey. Paradigm Drivers, top-selling driver in my shop by far. Callaway did a good job on this one. And I would have to agree. I've gotten the Mizuno in, and we're testing it, and it's performing well. I'm waiting on an adapter for these guys. I fully suspect that these are going to be close. They won't be world beaters, but price for performance, I don't think you're going to beat them. And the Strixon drivers are here now too. So there's a lot of testing. I've gone through all the irons so far. Now it's time to go through the drivers. But you're right, Travis. The Paradigm has been killing it. and not so much that they're 6 out of 9 or 7 out of 9 on the tour right now. So there's something to it. No matter what my golf spike came across, just goes to show you even the review guys can get one off to the right every once in a while. Oh, there's Charlie saying, "Gee, that's my small medium."
He run balls instead.
Oh. All right. Right size head for the hat. There you go. PZ loves his apron. Jason Blevin, Switchblade tool, very sweet. Thank you very much, sir. Green Bay Packer tool. It is, isn't it? You guys are the bomb, Emmanuel says. Mbanga, hey Robin, if I don't win the tour towel, can I order one with my Apex? There we go. We'll do a rebuild.
It's in there.
Yep, we have got tons of work that I've got to get off my butt and go do. I brought myself a present for your birthday, which arrived today. Very good. The Project X VRTX Red with lefty adapter. Yes. So I'm looking forward to trying it out. Very sweet. I'm glad to see it. As a matter of fact, let us know how it works out. PZ is all the giveaways. You guys are awesome. Yep. Thank you. All you guys watching, man, it's been fun. I mean, it's really been fun. The questions have been good. Like talking about golf. I just like to see more of this get out there. Quad Rider, excited for my fitting next weekend. Very good. We'll have you on. We're gonna wear you out, dude. Bean Alpine. Okay, happy birthday. Thank you, sir. Are you opening a barbecue restaurant, Jim? That definitely got the tools to do it. I do, don't I? I really do. And the reason why that came about, Charlie, is that I had a Cuisinart gas grill, and it worked great. And the outside is all stainless steel, still looks brand spanking new, and the entire guts of the thing is totally ate out. I'm like, why do we do this? If it's stainless steel, can take the heat, and let's just do the whole thing and pay a little bit and let it last for years. But no, we don't want to do that. So that's the reason why I have those, is because they're 304 stainless steel, Charlie, just like right off the boat. So I've got great confidence in these things.
But no to the barbecue.
And Robin says no to the barbecue restaurant per se, but she don't mind have me make it for them.
No, not at all.
All right, clean my clubs for Pro-Am on Wednesday while watching this. All right, Pro-Am, very cool. Congratulations on another 6. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Very late birthday. No problem, sir. Hey, what wax do you like for your clubs? Deuce is the most simplest stuff. It's hard shell turtle wax. You don't need anything special. Just it's about is providing that coating while they set, because the first strike onto the turf, it's gone. On the shafts, it stays a little bit longer in order to provide that protection. I did use Carnauba way back when, and it looks great. It really, really does. But Carnauba is soft. If you're just in and out of the bags and you're a picker, it might be okay. But I've been contemplating. I've been watching Ammo NYC, and he's a car detailer, and he does all kinds of cool cars. And he has his own product line, and he has this stuff that's like a ceramic. He applies it with a sponge, and I've really considered calling him because he likes golf, and rubbing it on like a driver head and seeing whether or not that adds a level of protection, say from a sky mark or bouncing off of another club or something like that. I've thought about asking him that. All right. How necessary are shaft centering beads? Jason, they are not absolutely necessary. However, what they do exactly what they sound like. You put them in there, you mix them in the glue, you stir the glue around the shaft and around the hosel, and it helps the club find that center. Now, we are measuring things in thousands and tens of thousands when we do this. It's just one more thing that we do to build a better club. Is it absolutely necessary? No. No, it is not. Dambuga Jim, what's your take on the wedge bounce and grinds if you play on turf that can be anywhere from firm to soft, wet to dry? Holy smokes, dude. Well, if you've got a variety of conditions that you play in, then it would be more about how you play wedges. Okay, so if you're, you've heard the terms diggers and sweepers. That's important. And diggers are basically guys that come in vertical, take this big monster divot, and then go through it. Where sweepers tend to be flatter swings and they graze the grass. And then there's the in-betweens, the sweeper diggers, that kind of stuff. However, there's also what I've put them into categories of point, click, and chip and artiste. And point, click, and chip is a guy or gal that just sits it down, swings it back, swings it forward, done, and it's over. And where the wedge is a tool, nothing fancy. I just use it to pop it up, and we go golf. The artiste is the guy that wants to open it up, play like Phil Mickelson, throw it up in the air, or it plays at golf courses where the conditions are such that you got to pop them high over sand traps or rocks or some other kind of impediment that you need to get air to go over, in which case you got open blades and you can do that. So if you're a person that just sets it down and goes, then I would suggest standard grinds for if you're picking and W grinds if you're thudding and taking divots. W grind being a wide grind, okay? If you're a person that wants to open the blade, stuff with heel and toe relief and with a trailing edge that is probably been relieved or rounded, and it's twofold. One, that allows you to open the blade a little bit, and two, if you're playing these places that have a lot of moguls, the heel and toe relief helps not get bound in there. Now, you can have heel and toe relief on some wide grinds. They're not mutually exclusive, but you can do that. So if you're a guy that finds yourself opening like a C grind, would be probably in the better category. There are D grinds, say in the Mizuno category, would be okay with that one. And that's where I would go with them. All right. We call it Mick Q. That's right. As Mo Norman said, golf is intoxication without the hangover. Mo Norman. That's a heck of a statement, and he's not wrong. Diamond Performance, happy birthday. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Jim, I see that you served the Navy. My daughter is serving in Canada. Thanks for your service. Well, thank you, sir, and tell her thank you for hers. Wherever they're at, we all have that common bond of wanting to protect our place, so good for her. PZ, you win the apron. Please email for your address. Look at that. Now that means 2 for him. Charlie, evaluate the MMT iron shafts versus the PGI feel, snap during the swing, boardiness, etc. Well, I can tell you now, Charlie, right? The MMTs, although are very, very nice, they will be a bit more boardy in comparison to the PGIs. And I can say that from hitting enough of the MMTs and both, not taking them out and played or anything, but in here, in my opinion, the MMTs, based on their profile, they're a little bit more firmer in those different areas than the PGIs are. PGIs are made to be a little bit softer. Now, they both are excellent shafts, that just need to fit. And so what Charlie's asking me is, the PGI is softer, it'll get the ball just a little bit of snap into the ball more. KB, not bad, not golf related. Hello from Japan. Hello, sir. How are you? I see in the parking sign back there. Yep, that's nice. I'm sure you know the quote, more will be expected of you, more will be demanded of you. Yeah. Well, as I used to tell my guys, perfection is our goal. Excellence will be tolerated. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Man, Robert. Oh, look at that. Apparently Matt's getting a towel. Peter, dude, I appreciate it, man. I really, really do. Thank you very much. Yeah, our birthday dinner probably end up being Papa John's pizza and we'll be good. But I'm down with that. Thank you so very much. Thank you again. Faz 889, Jim, any tips on fitting a very snug set of ferrules? It's a 355 ferrule and a 355 shaft. I tried to heat it up a few and they melted very easily. I've gone through 2 sets of ferrule. Ooh, yeah. So here we go. Yeah, I ran into that here not too long ago. And 355 ferrules tend to be very snug, uh, even on the regular shafts, just like you're feeling. And I did it for I'm looking at the other shaft, the other one. So I had some 355s that were going on 370s, and I'm like, holy smokes, that's not going to do. What I ended up doing is I ended up drilling them out, all right, in order for them to fit, and they were still tight. But what I do is two-step method. Number one, put them in your pocket, something warm, right? Put them in your hand, roll them around, get them so that they're pliable, and then get them started, okay? And then what you do is once you get them on there, you get the ferrule on the shaft. Try this. You get the ferrule on the shaft, and let's just say this is the end of the shaft. You've pushed it down, and that's the very end of the shaft. Then you're flipping it over, and you're using this to push it down. Now, they do make, I will say this, if you don't do this very often, this might be a tool that you like. They have ferrule installation tools, and they're literally a tube, that's a metal tube that's this long and has a recess in it that goes over top of this, all right? And as you set it down, you put it on there and you go tink, 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 and it puts it down about 1.25 inches, so you're really, really close. You could do that. The other one is what I end up doing is I do heat up the ferrule, but 5 seconds at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put the thing down, put this on there, put it on the ground, try and push as hard as I can. If it moves, we're making progress. You let it sit there for just a second or two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and push again. No more than 5 seconds, and pound it down, and eventually it'll give. Okay, eventually it'll give. Now, if you didn't want to go with all that, you can take a wire brush. If you've got a wire brush on a drill, and run it through there and try and open up the gap on it. But be very, very cautious about going through, because on your way back, those wires are going to want to catch, and you don't want them catching. So you just want to get it so it just barely sneaks through there, and then bring it back, and then try it. All right, you can do something like that. If you didn't have that, the last thing I would tell you is maybe a little bit of sandpaper on the. Some people have done it, like tape some sandpaper to a drill, and it doesn't have to be the same size. Just enough sandpaper on a drill, and just barely touch it, because it's soft plastic. So there's just very little pieces, and then it'll pay for itself. All right, Pew. Okay. What are your thoughts on strong lofts on irons with some companies? Well, you know what? At first, Duke, I fought that tooth and nail, and when it first did it, and they were bringing in 6 irons that were literally the exact same thing as a 5 iron with a 6 stamped on it, and they didn't fly any different than a 5 iron. It literally was a 5 iron with 6 on it, and I did not think that was proper. Okay, it was not proper. Now, and for traditionalists, right? Traditionalists will go, you just got to learn to play a bigger, taller club, get closer, blah, all these different things. That's okay, fine, but we're golfers and we still want to hit it like we used to, and that's what stronger clubs will do for us. Now, what's happened is the engineering has caught up with the desire. The Paradigms, the Wilsons, the TaylorMades, they all have these very strong clubs, and they all hit. A 7 iron flies like a 7, an 8 flies like an 8, and so on. The only thing that's different is the spin. A lot of the spin is going to be a little bit lower because of lower lofted clubs. That's physics. But now you can they're increasing it a little bit with face coarseness, the center of gravity below the head or the equator of the ball, and it's getting in there, so it's hitting higher and coming in softer versus coming in lower and coming in more speedy. So it's a difference in the game. Now, the thing you got to wrap your head around, and everybody falls into this one. I had a lady golfer that really had a hard time grasping the idea of a pitching wedge, an A wedge, and a gap wedge. And they thought, well, aren't they all the same? Well, no, they're not. They're different lofts. They just have different labels on them from what you had before. And so there's that. So if you can get your mind wrapped around it, and you know what, it allows some older folks, or we'll call them golfers with slower swing speeds, to stay in the game and enjoy it even more. So I'm with it. You just have to pick which works best for the golfer. It's like, for instance, I had that young left-handed guy that hits the ball a ton. Does not need the stronger lofted iron, right? Does not need it. And he doesn't need it. And so you get him something that's more traditional. You got to, that's the whole idea of the fitting, is get them into something that they're looking for. All righty. It's well aged. Yes, it is, bud. And it was many years before that. It does, Pewee. It does. And you ought to check out the hybrid as well. I think that could cut the air. Look at that. Clifton, different shoes might give you a change in height, just like the board. I've always used a board. Yeah, and that's true too. You could, golf shoes can have more sole, or even like running shoes if you're hitting in those and that kind of thing as well. You're right. Douche, you're more than welcome, sir. The World of Golf Hall is moving to Pinehurst at the end of the year. Oh, I guess they are, aren't they? Maybe there's my opportunity to run down there real quick and go buy that big, ginormous Callaway club from them that they've got at the entryway.
I'm sure they're going to move it.
Oh, no.
We don't need it.
Yeah, we need that. That is what you call, that's a man cave item, that 6-foot tall golf club. Andy Taylor, happy birthday. Off to play with my new G40 driver and Strixons tomorrow in the UK. Thank you, sir. Thank you for staying up late, and I hope you enjoy it. All righty, look at this. Robin handing out a 7th prize.
Well, PC already had an 8.
Yep.
That'd be rude.
All right, howdy, Robin. Happy birthday from St. Louis. Thank you, sir. I caught your Callaway interview on replay. Really enjoyed it. I've played Callaways for 25 years. Still have the 3-wood Warbird. Those things were bad to the bone. And thank you. Are you experiencing supply chain issue with your manufacturers? The only one that's given me a little bit of guff, but I believe they're now fully caught up, is Callaway. They got off to a pretty rough start, but we literally got 10 boxes in today. And I think we're caught up now. Wilson has not been a problem. Strixon has not been a problem. Mizuno has got us out 2 or 3 weeks, which, considering they used to ship every 3 days, I still don't think that they've ever really recovered from COVID. But they would be the other ones that, if I had to say that they're suffering from it, it would be Mizuno right now. Matt, late to the party, but happy B-Day. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. J Road, thank you. Welcome to the club. Thank you. Kent, what do you say? Similar place to where I hit my 8-iron now, Jim. Okay, I hit it from with a house. Yeah. Well, I mean, those guys used to hit it from the inside there, and we've seen them all play very, very well. And it's funny that they would play to a wear mark, and they'd have one about the size of a nickel, or a 1 pound, and they would play it like that, and they played it until somebody offered them a new club. In today's world, that never happened. Eric Jinson, hey, thank you. Thank you. Eric is going to be 60 in 20 days. Man, this is like the 60s club right here, bud. Michael Moody, thanks for the grip explanation. I've never seen it that way. Well, there you go. I'm glad to show you something new. Danny Freeman says hello, and I say, well, thank you so very much. RSG, how do you know when your shafts are shot? Well, I would say there's a couple of them. In steel, if the chrome is starting to pop on them and you're seeing rust spots, it's time for them to go. If in graphite you see lots of bag wear, and what I mean by bag wear is there we go. It says I unmuted. It caught my mic. So anyway, you see a lot of bag wear in this neck of the woods from the club going inside out of the bag. That would be another one. There was a test done, and you'll see the shaft getting out of shape just naturally. Those are it. But it goes quite a bit. But if you expose them to the environment, off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on, it will be sooner than later. All right. Yep, I thought she was going to be. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the pups. That's good for you. That's more important. Matt, been in a couple of my junior sets this afternoon. You would laugh at my redneck. It can't be any different than what we started out with, Matt. Is the big old clamp. I'm surprised you're not using a hammer. All right. RSG, vote thumbs up for Jim's birthday. I appreciate that very much. Birthday boy, have you tried out the Stealth HD irons or are you planning on testing them? I'm afraid not, Slats, unless TaylorMade decides to send me some. You never know. They very well may, but I've not asked and they've not offered. Hi, Robin. Happy birthday to Jim from Faz889. Thank you. Excellent. You know what? And I say that about every 3 times I'm waxing golf clubs because they all get a coat of it before it goes out. Wax on, wax off. Frugal Golf Fixers and Guitar, fixer of golf and guitars. Hello there. How are you? Working hard. Yep. I got Mrs. McGolf standing right here, or sitting right here, standing right here. Ha, ha, ha. Sitting right here. Sure. There's Frugal Fixer Golf and Guitar saying hello. And Michael is hooked, he says. Thank you. All right, PZ, if a player is looking for new irons, how much weight would you put on the Maltby playability factor for irons heads if you can't do a fitting? How much would I put on there? From a playability standpoint, I would have to say they're right on. They're going to say long blades, lots of offset, thinner clubs, not as tall clubs, are all going to be more playable. Okay, this is taking that into account. So if one of those parameters needs to be changed, you can focus on that particular instance. Meaning, if you look at their Logitech stuff or their L-Tech, that's what's called L-Tech. It's a very long club. It's not very tall. It has a lot of offset with a big old blade. Super game improvement. So that's where that starts, right? So if you have somebody that hits it high on the face, a thinner golf club may not be what you're looking for. You need to find one that's tall, and you can go through that. They give you good starting areas to be sure. Just spike. There you go. Love the looks of those Dynapower irons. I may have to trade up. Got to get rid of these. There you go. Some of those people will do that for you. Boiling water does soften the ferrule. It does. You got to be very, very careful, though. You'd only want to dip it in there for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then you got to get right to the golf club very, very quickly. You don't want to leave it in there too long. Again, it's plastic. Now I want some Papa John's. I I'm getting there too, bud. RSG vote thumbs up again. Thank you again. Chris Parker, I got Callaway wedges for my 60th birthday. Heading to Hilton Head. Good for you, Chris.
No, he said he got it for your 60th.
Oh, got Callaway wedges for my 60th. Okay. Well, good enough. I hope they play well for you and enjoy Hilton Head. Does stronger law mess with the scent angle? Not necessarily, Duke. Now, if you're one of those persons that has to see the face, then yeah, it very well may. But on the average, no. Past my prime. Hello, Joe, Robin, and Jim. Just getting here. It was so late I wasn't able to sign in, but happy birthday. Very good. Thank you, sir. John Lamb, happy born naked day. Oh, I like the golf symbol. That's pretty cool. The apple symbol was made out of the golf. That's neat. Sounds like the wrong mic after the mic drop. All right, let's see what we can do here.
No, that was probably earlier.
Let's see. We'll take it down a little bit. We'll see if we can do it. Let's try that.
I'm listening to you.
All right. If you're still watching, please hit that like button. Everybody's saying very good. We'll see if we can do it.
You sound fine.
All righty. John Lamb, have you tried the Nippon 950 Neos? I have. With the 310. I haven't tried it with the PXG in there, but I do like the 950 Neos, John. I think they're a really nice shaft. They're a little less flexible. Well, so the regular 950s are butt soft. These are not, and they play very, very well. To the point I am trying for people that are looking for a lighter shaft and they tend to tug down on it and maybe even release a little later, and they're looking for a lighter shaft. That I go to first. And now they have a Neo 850. So if you want to go to 85, you'll even see it then there too. Pastor Brian, have you had an opportunity to work on some 1983 Ping Eye copper irons? Oh, you did. Okay. My customer is the original owner and still gaming them with no intentions of changing. I have had a set. I had a 2 through a sand wedge come through here, and I reshafted them all. What I would be careful of is if you're doing any real work on them, don't grind, because it's copper beryllium, and beryllium can give you berylliosis, which is like a kind of akin to asbestosis. But you got to really be grinding on it and creating the dust, cleaning them off, doing that kind of stuff. Not a big deal. Waxing them or even making them shiner, not a big deal. But if you're getting in there to take a little something off of there, then I would wear a mask. All right, here we go. We've got a couple more. We're going to take 2 more, and we've made it past our time. Duke K says you'll have an amazing week. Jim, again, enjoy the day. Robin, thanks for all you do. Live feed making people feel welcome. Look at that. Here we go. There's one. There you go. Rob Miles says happy 60th. Have a good one. We appreciate it. Okay. We got down to the bottom. We only went 20 minutes over. Not bad. Okay. So, again, thank you guys. Happy birthday. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Hopefully everybody got some stuff. There, Robin's talking to you. Keep an eye out for the video. Hit that like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. And as always, let's see your scores go low.